Crazy, 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 crazy. If you're expecting some type of rant, I don't know if I'm going to deliver it today. What I do know is that Microsoft seems to have failed. And before everybody gets on me about, how could they have failed? It just started and all these things like that. Microsoft kind of has been trying to do this Windows 10 Xbox experience. And every time they get into some type of trouble, they seem to abandon whatever they're trying to do. They seem to abandon it. They don't stick to their guns. They don't have the withal to just eat a terrible situation, And I blame that not on Phil Spencer or the Xbox division. I blame that on Satya Nadella. I do, because I know it's Satya Nadella that's forced Microsoft into this position of putting games on Windows and trying to grab the PC gamer and things like that. And as a hardcore Xbox guy, and to all my hardcore Xbox guys, I still understand where you're coming from, where, yeah, listen, we get it. We know that, more sales means more games for Xbox without question. But there's still a sense of loyalty. There's still a sense of this is my team. This is who I rock with and things like that. And because of that, Xbox fans have been loyal to Microsoft through thick and thin, and they've stuck with them and everything like that. And even when they spoke about Windows 10 and they spoke about Xbox and how, you can play anywhere, and if a PC gamer bought an Xbox, gamers do Windows 10 only and things like that, the fans stuck with it because it was still Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? It was still Microsoft. It was still Xbox. But today's news has now changed that dynamic. And to me, it's going to change the dynamic going forward. So obviously, if you haven't heard, and if you're hearing this for the first time, Microsoft is going to be releasing Quantum Break, their exclusive, their console exclusive on PC at retail, which is just crazy to me because PC games, never really had. I haven't seen a retail PC game in forever, but they're going to release Quantum Break as a PC title at retail and on Steam. Now, for those of you who don't know, Quantum Break sold terribly. My understanding is it sold like 13,000 copies in the Windows 10 store. It launched pretty well on the Xbox One, but it didn't do well after that. So basically that game, I guess you can say, did flop. And obviously that's disappointing. I think as an Xbox fan and as Xbox fans, you don't want to see any games flop. I think for any console, I think if you're a PlayStation guy, you don't want to see games flop on your console. If you're a Nintendo guy, you don't want to see games flop on your console. You want those things to be successes, even if, you might not play it, because that means that the studio is doing well and it'll continue to get games. But the PC gamer has beaten Microsoft at their own game. And they will continue to do so from now on because Microsoft folded. Even though Quantum Break didn't sell, as a business, I understand that you have to recoup your money. I get that. You need to make your money back. I get that. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But the one thing that I will say is that you would not see any other manufacturer do what they're doing because obviously, yes, Sony doesn't have the market to sell their games on PC the way Microsoft does because they have Windows 10, they have the ecosystem, they're doing these things. But even then, they would probably just eat it. They'd probably just be like, all right, this game flop. No, we could do about it. Like, for example, if you look at what is the game? The walking simulator. What is the name of that game? The Order 1886. If you look at that game, and they put all this production into the game, and the game sort of flopped. It didn't do well, right? You didn't see them then turn around and have, the game hit PC. You didn't see them have the game hit Steam or something like that. The game just flopped. It's done. It's over. They've moved on from the game or whatever. I don't know if that game will ever come to Xbox, but if Sony produced that title, that title just flopped. It's over. It's done. Microsoft feels like they have an opportunity to recoup that money. So by releasing it on PC and Steam, you've now, and absolutely they will, make that money back, or they will come close, because you have PC gamers now who finally have the opportunity to buy the game on Steam and buy the game on PC, and they'll recoup some funds. I don't think they'll ever get whatever they put into this game back. And that's because probably it's the Don Matrick era that game came from, when they were doing the whole TV thing and trying to be interactive with the game and the TV show and having TV shows on the Xbox. You know, it's crazy. But what it comes down to is that PC gamers now understand that they no longer have to even attempt to buy a game out of the Windows Store. If Gears flops on Windows 10, right? And I know Gears is not going to flop on Xbox, but if Gears flops on Windows 10 and the game doesn't sell well, or the game doesn't meet expectations, unlike a Halo or something like that, PC gamers will then expect that game to come to Steam in PC at some point. That will be their thinking from here on any game that comes out on Xbox and Windows 10. They're just going to wait it out. They're going to wait it out. There is no reason, there is no incentive now to sit up there and be like, you know what, I'm going to buy this game immediately on Windows 10. For all the PC gamers out there who hate Windows 10, who hates the store, who hates the way it's designed, who hates the way it works, you have now given them the thought process that they will not buy the game from Windows 10, and they will wait. And they have the patience to wait. And when that happens, if a game does not sell on Windows 10, and if the game does not sell well on the Xbox, it will then go full PC and full retail. And then you might as well just be a third-party studio producing games for third party, because now you have this game on PC. Now, I know what you're saying. Cal, what does it matter? We're playing the games on Xbox. Who cares what the PC guys are playing? I get that. I get that. I'm not sitting up there trying to negate and say that, you know, that the PC gamers, you know, the PC gamers and stuff like that, they matter to the Xbox gamer. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that at all. Get a little heated. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not trying to go on a rant. Don't confuse this as a rant. I'm just trying to point out something to you guys out there that really support what Microsoft is trying to do. This has nothing to do with Play Anywhere. Because if you're an Xbox gamer, that benefits you more than if you're a PC gamer. Matter of fact, most of the things that's happening with Xbox benefits the Xbox gamer more than it does the PC gamer. Because when you buy the game on Xbox, you get a copy for PC. But now you've given the incentive that, you know what, I don't have to buy the game on Windows 10. And I'll just wait it out. And there's a ton of PC gamers. If you were trying to get the PC crowd to sell more copies to your store, right? And you're trying to grow your store, you have to work on it and things like that. And you have to fix the things that's wrong with it to appeal to the PC gamer. You just fold it in that way. Don't tell me it's Remedy that did this. Microsoft owns that game. They own the game. You can go look it up at the trademark. They own it. They published it. Remedy produced the game. And now the game is going to Steam and is going out to PC. So this whole thing about Xbox and Windows 10 and this ecosystem that they are trying to build, you have to question what is the limit to where Microsoft says, you know what, we're just gonna put it out there. Just put it out there. We're just gonna throw it out there. We just let more people play. Just let more people play and stuff like that. It becomes a thing where what you've been pitching is now almost bogus in a way. Just because of the simple fact that now if these things do happen in the future, fans and gamers know what to expect, and the next course of action will be to try to recoup those sales. And then the hardcore gamer, all the people out there that are hardcore gamers and they fight the fake fan, console war and stuff like that, and having exclusives is a bullet point for them, and it's PlayStation versus Xbox, and Xbox versus PlayStation, they have an exclusive as a bullet point for them. They lost another point because obviously that game is out there now. To everybody, it's not behind the wall. Listen, I'm not trying to sit up here and be a baby about the situation. I'm just pointing out the idea in what they were trying to do is kind of sabotaging itself by doing what they need to do to make money, if you get what I'm saying. And I truly believe that it really has a lot to do with Microsoft as a company more than it does have to do with Xbox as a division and the new leadership. Because I don't think the old leadership would have done that. The old leadership, regardless of whatever Don Matrick tried to do, or whatever, regardless of whatever Ballmer tried to do, would have done everything in their power to make sure that the Xbox brand continued to be what it was on 360. Whatever they had to buy, whatever they had to pay, whatever they had to pass out to get whatever third-party exclusive DLC games, new IPs, whatever they had to do financially, whether it would have burned a hole in Microsoft pocket, they would have done it. And I think with Satya, you have to compromise. All the rumors about how Microsoft may have been spun off and they may have been gone because the shareholders didn't like it. That's a strong possibility. And Phil did the right thing in obviously working on this Play Anywhere, Xbox games being on PC and things like that. And Xbox gamers, being able to play anywhere, no matter, what, as long as you're on a Windows 10 device and stuff like that. But with that, it comes trade-offs. There's a sacrifice that has to be made. Clearly, there's a sacrifice that's being made. And if you're a hardcore gamer, if you're a guy that's always fighting about exclusives and you're a guy that's fighting about why you want an Xbox and why you're buying an Xbox, those things start to become a little bit more thin. It's more just about you like these games and you're getting a console for this if you're not a PC gamer. And there's a lot of PC gamers out there that aren't going to buy the Xbox, and there's a lot of console gamers out there that's not going to get on PC. And that's absolutely true. But if you got the hardcore guys who truly, the ones that go at it for Microsoft, the guys out there who sit up there every day and try to support the brand and really, go against all the negatives when you have people trying to come at the console and stuff like that, the hardcore Xbox fanboys and stuff like that. That's kind of and you gotta understand, that's loyalty from their perspective. That's a lot of loyalty and trust from their perspective. That's an L on their part. Now, that's something that nowadays, like, oh my God, Microsoft put this game on here, yada, yada, yada. And the game is no longer a part of the Windows 10 ecosystem. It's just out there because Microsoft have to make more money. And I spoke with devs about this before. It's all about for them, it's all about more gamers playing their games, right? I get it 100%. Then why not just go third party? That's my understanding. That's my thing. It would be unprecedented to have a third party manufacturer also have a console and put all your games out on every single device and stuff like that. But what's stopping you? If it's about money, right? If that's what it's about, and you're trying to make that money, what you did it with Minecraft. Minecraft is making bank out of this world. Minecraft is making so much money for Microsoft right now. It's one of the things that holds down the division every quarter. I swear to God, that game is in the top 10 every quarter. Minecraft just sells no matter what. And that game literally is on everything. That thing is on the Wii U as we speak. And the Wii U, we all know Wii U gets barely any third-party games. So that game is on there. It's on PC. It's on PlayStation. It's on Xbox 360, PS3, Xbox One, and PS4. That's bank. That's money right there. You know what I'm saying? That's all the money in the world. So if that's the case, then go ahead and do what you're supposed to do. And go ahead and put another game out there on everything if it's about money. Because right now, from an Xbox perspective, from a hardcore Xbox guy's perspective, it's about money, but it's not about the Xbox gamer. And I think that's really what it's about. It's not about the Xbox gamer. Now, I get Scorpio is all about the Xbox gamer. Don't get me wrong. If you are a hardcore Xbox guy like myself, I'm picking up the Scorpio without question. I want that console. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fence about the NX. I'm on the fence about the Neo, but the Scorpio, I am definitely picking up that console. And I already understand that the Scorpio won't have any exclusives. I get that. I already know that. And I understand that Microsoft is, with the Scorpio, it's not so much a new generation more than it is a premium device for the generation we're already in. So I don't want people to get confused on that, because you always have a lot of fans that think that the Scorpio is going to be some next gen type of console and is going to compete with the PS5. That is not what's happening. I don't think people understand that. What Microsoft is doing is they're coming out with a premium Xbox One. That's exactly what it is. You have the Xbox One, you have the Xbox One S, and you will have the Scorpio. And all of that will still be a part of Generation 8. And when they're ready to come out with their next console, then they will release their next console. And that will compete with the PlayStation 5 or whatever else Nintendo comes out with. At the same time, your fan base is everywhere now at this point. And it's similar to a third party, because it's like you have Activision, you have EA, and they have their games everywhere. And they have no loyalty to their base. As a console manufacturer, the great thing that Sony does with their system and with their base is that they make sure that their fans of their console is always feels number one. And I think that's why people kind of stick with Sony in a way. I think Phil has done an amazing job turning the ship around for the Xbox division. And I think the team has done an amazing job getting the ship right. I praised the Xbox One S last week. I thought the Xbox One S, they did a remarkable job with it, and I thought it was the right thing to do. And I'm all for Xbox Windows 10 games, because I'm all about bringing more games to the Xbox One as well. At the same time, unless you're going to make everything crossplay, like seriously, like everything has to be crossplay, whether it's on Steam, whether it's on PC retail, whether it's on Windows 10. Because if it's only Xbox and Windows 10, then you fail. You fail. That means everything has to be crossplay, because if you don't do that, then you're just another third-party manufacturer. And I know Xbox has been releasing games on Steam before, but not a major AAA type. Well, I can't say that. They did have Gears on there, and they did have Halo on there back in the day. I just think that, and I just feel that, Microsoft seems to be losing their identity as a console manufacturer. I said this before. A long time ago, I've said this before. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know exactly what they're trying to be. I don't know if they're trying to be a hybrid between PC and console, if they're just trying to figure out ways to make money, if they're just trying to figure out ways to make sure that their division is in the right position when it comes to being a part of the Microsoft brand. But what I do know is that it's been a crazy generation. I know that for sure. It's been a crazy generation. It's been a crazy generation. It's been up. It's been down. There's been a ton of rhetoric. There's been a ton of, messages put out there. There's been confusion. There's been rebuttals. There's been the right thing said, and there's been the wrong thing said. And the fans are kind of like, you're there to support 1 second, and then the next second you're like, what is going on? It's just a weird situation, I think, for Microsoft. And I know it's only one game, so I'm not trying to blow it out of proportion, and maybe I am, but I'm just trying to point out that instead of just taking that L and moving on from that, what you've done now is any PC gamer will not buy it. Listen, if you own a Steam account, first of all, if you own a Steam account, there's not much incentive to even play on Windows 10, because most third parties automatically are on Steam. Let alone if you release the game on Steam, that game is not going to retail for $60. You already know that. Steam always releases their games at a cheaper price, or you get massive discounts pretty quickly. So now you're saying that you're going to release a game on Steam and you're going to release a game on Windows 10. If you release a game on Windows 10, it's going to be $60, which is what their titles have been, since released. And it's funny because as an Xbox gamer, Xbox gamers are automatically going to gripe that they're paying $60 for a game that's $50 or $40 on Windows 10. So you got to put it at 60. You're not going to be able to put it at 60 on Steam. So now the Steam players are going to get it at an even cheaper price. Xbox gamers already feel jilted because if you need to have an Xbox account in order to play the games on Windows 10. But the PC gamers not paying for live. They're not paying for live. So if they're not paying for live, they're playing these games on your dime. If they just need a live account where they don't have to pay just to play the game, they're playing the games on your dime. And that's just the truth. I said this before. I didn't like that. There's not much you can do about it because Microsoft knows that Steam does not require people to pay for a subscription. And as soon as you try to make a PC gamer pay for a subscription, you lost that PC gamer. There's a reason why PC is an open source platform and why PC gamers have been playing the way they've been playing for the longest time. So from here on, I don't think Microsoft will make many sales in their store, in the Windows 10 store. Putting games on Windows 10 was to get more sales and also grow their store. But there's just so many issues with the store. And on top of that, you've now made PC gamers believe, you know what? We just got Quantum Break, one of the biggest games that Microsoft has been toting for the last 3 years, almost 3.5 years. This game has been hyped up. This game has been, a big selling point for the console. And now this game is no longer just exclusive to the platform. It's out there in the wild at PC retail and on Steam. And if the PC gamer can believe that, you can believe they are definitely not going to buy another game out of the Windows 10 store again. They just won't. They'll just wait. There's a million other games that they can play in the meantime until the next Xbox game hits Steam and PC retail. Microsoft folded. They were in a poker game with the PC gamers. They thought they had a good hand, and the PC gamer had a full house. And they took a L and they folded. And listen, Quantum Break flop. Let's just keep it real. It didn't sell well. It's unfortunate. I really like the game. I'm still playing it right now. A lot of people beat the game, but Xbox gamers aren't buying games like they used to. Halo has sold amazingly. Halo's over 5 million copies sold. But when you look at the other exclusives, they're not Halo. They're not Halo for a reason. Forza has done well. Forza Horizon 2 hasn't done like extremely astronomical, but it's the best racing game or the best racing series, in my opinion, this generation. I love Forza Horizon. To me, I haven't played a racing game better than that. I played a lot of racing games in my day. Not this generation, but in my day, I used to play a lot of racing games. So I'm really impressed with Forza Horizon series. I think it's the best racing series out there on the market. But even that is not something where it's doing like it used to on 360, 3 million, maybe 4 million. Forza Motorsport's not doing 3 million, maybe 4 million. It's around 1, maybe 2. Sunset Overdrive did like 1 million. Rise kind of flopped. Dead Rising 3, I think, broke like 1.5 and stuff like that. You're just not hitting those numbers. I think it's a contribution between gamers are not buying games like they used to, and also there's just other ways to play. You got people on mobile. You got people on PC now. You have a lot of people on PlayStation, and you got some people on Nintendo. But even with PlayStation's fan base, their sales are similar. It's the truth. Let's just be real. You have all these PlayStation consoles out there, and yet it's a similar predicament for them as well. Their games aren't astronomical with 40 million consoles out there on the market. They don't have 10 million sales on a particular exclusive. Their games is hovering around 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, one of those type of situations. So I don't want to say it's just Microsoft, but this generation, nobody's buying games like they did last generation. They're just not. And the games aren't selling astronomically like they would. So the idea of Microsoft putting their games on Windows 10 made sense, because if you had a game, for example, let's say they come out with Crackdown, and Crackdown does 1.5 million on the Xbox One. But that's not enough. That's not enough to recoup that budget for cloud, for the always online, for the multiplayer and all the destruction and all the stuff, all that money they put into Azure and all that stuff like that to build that game the way it's supposed to be. And they put it on Windows 10 PC. And then it only sells like 15,000 copies. Let's just say it sells 15,000 copies. And that's not enough. They needed that game to do 4 million. That's not enough. They then turn around and release that game on Steam, and they release that game on PC retail. That's what the PC gamer will do from now on. They won't wait. They won't try to purchase the game from the Windows 10 store. They'll just wait it out. And if the games don't sell because people aren't buying games that they used to, they'll eventually get the game. Sony will bite the bullet. Like, seriously, I've seen Sony just bite the bullet. I'm not trying to compare them. I'm just being realistic and understanding as a gamer why, certain things are the way they are with Sony and Sony fans, and why certain things are the way they are with Microsoft, and why some people feel a certain way about it. As an Xbox fan, as a hardcore Xbox fan, I'm not a PC gamer. Just keeping it real. I'm not. I like a controller. I like a console. I like a big TV. I'm not saying you can't do those things with PC. PC is just not my cup of tea. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying a pre-made PC. I'm not trying to build no PC. I'm not going through the process of debugging and getting new chips and all stuff. Just give me my plug and play. I'm good to go. I like all of my friends on the console. I like the ecosystem of the Xbox. The reason why I rock with the Xbox is because I think it has the best ecosystem on the planet. I think Xbox Live is better than PSN. And that's not a fanboy thing. That's just me as an individual person. There's things that I like and there's things that you like. I might not like what you like. That doesn't make me a fanboy. But at the same time, I think that as someone that supports Microsoft, tries to put the console in the best perspective as possible, show the positives of the console, especially when at the time there were so many negative things about the console, and make people understand why Xbox and why Microsoft is such a great company, it becomes not hard, but it becomes like weird, because now the console makes you feel like they're going more third party than being this special, competitor in the game. I don't know why people don't understand this. As console gamers, these manufacturers are like teams. No matter what you say, no matter what you believe, even as a gamer, these console manufacturers are teams, and everybody likes one better than the other. And you want to root for that team. And if that team, does not make you feel as if they are progressing in a way where they're going to be number one, or they're pushing the competition, then you feel like you're losing, or you feel like you're out of whack. And then the other team feels like they're winning. And that's just how it is in gaming. And I know it's not realistic, and I know it's not real at all, but that's just how it is in gaming. And I don't know why the executives don't think that way or feel that way. Obviously, they have to make money, but on Sony's side, they do. They do. They get it. They understand that. I don't know if the Microsoft execs get that or they understand that. And because for them, it's about making the money. It's about recouping what you spent and stuff like that on a division. But at the same time, you've now kind of like killed off your whole idea of trying to sell games on Windows 10. No one's going to no one's going to go ahead and pick that up. So, that's just the reality of it and stuff like that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting up here trying to whoa, my bad. 1 second. I'm not sitting up here trying to go on a rant about why, Microsoft is this or why Microsoft is that. All I'm saying is that if, they had a plan a place to do something. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like, they'll be able to continue to fulfill that plan, because I just think that now with the PC gamer being involved, with the PC gamer now realizing that there's no way to, they don't have to use the Windows 10 store now to get the games that they want. They can just ride it out and then get the Windows games that they want without even having to hop on Windows 10 or use the Windows 10 store at all. And it's kind of just put Microsoft in a position where whatever they were trying to do with the Windows store, whatever they were trying to do with Windows 10 and get their games on there, I don't know if it'll work now. I just don't. I just think PC gamers are stubborn enough just to wait it out and get it on Steam and get it on PC. And I don't know if that's a good thing for Microsoft or not, because now you're not truly benefiting from it being a part of your ecosystem. You're not growing your ecosystem. And most of the profits are now going to other stores. And that's a detriment to the Xbox gamer, because now when that game, no, don't get me wrong, as an exclusive, yeah, they'll still get money, but you have to then share that fund. You don't get full, you don't get the full profit. Whereas if it was on your own store, you would get it. You now have to split that money with Steam putting on a store, and you have to split it with the retailers who are now selling the game. So that was my point, and that's the point that I was trying to get at from the jump. So I'm hoping that this is a one-time occurrence, but as a PC person, or shall I say, not me as a PC person, but as PC gamers now know that this game is coming out for this, they'll probably expect the same thing to happen in the future, and they'll doubt anything that Microsoft says when it comes to, games being Xbox and Windows 10. So, that's really it, man. That's what the show is about today. Like I said, not a rant, not trying to rant. I'm just trying to point out something based on what I read today. And it's just kind of weird, not weird, because I get it. I get what Microsoft is doing as a business, but it's just tough to see that happen and know what's going to happen next. And I can see it happening. And maybe for them, they don't care. Maybe for them, they wash their hands with trying to compete. Maybe for them, they wash their hands. They just want to sell the game and try to recoup whatever they can recoup. Maybe that's something that they want to do. But, when you're in this competition and you're talking about competition and you're talking about being the best and you're talking about being number one and you're talking about Xbox, it's hard to continue to think that way when, as an Xbox gamer, it's always about the PC. It's always about Windows 10. It's always about Steam. You know what I'm saying? As a console gamer. And there's a lot of hardcore console gamers out there. There's over 20 million of us. Over 20 million. So, if you're a hardcore guy, if you're a podcaster, if you make videos on Microsoft and stuff like that, sorry. If you make videos on Microsoft like that and you go to bat for the brand, whatever, like I said, it's just weird seeing those things. And like I said, I support Microsoft for whatever they do. I hope they recoup everything that they made back on PC and Steam. I just know that the PC gamer will now look at the Windows 10 store and say, I'm not getting nothing out of there. I'll just wait it out and wait for it to hit, wait for it to hit the consoles. So, man, that's just really it in a nutshell. I'm not trying to keep a long show going on today. If you have any questions, I will now take them and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and end the show for the MP3 crowd, and I'll try to answer any questions to the best of my ability. I want to thank everybody for coming out, checking out the show. I really appreciate it and things like that. And I want to thank you guys for supporting Super Podshots and Tick Podcast as usual. We will be back next week with a Tick Podcast episode on Friday. And this Friday, you will have Anchorman V with Top Shelf, his show Top Shelf. And I got some news coming up for you guys starting next week. On the next show, I will announce that, and you guys will be pleasantly surprised at the guests we have coming on the show from Microsoft. So we can't wait to have them on and get a chance to talk about that. So I'm your host, KORXKLL, the last son of planet Xbox, and I'm off this planet. Peace. All right, guys, now that that's over with the MP3 crowd, big shout out to my MP3 guys. If you're listening to the show, I will get this up on iTunes as soon as I get my laptop back. If you don't know where I've been on iTunes or why I haven't updated anything, my laptop broke. I'm currently using my wife's Surface, And as soon as I get that back, I'll be able to edit and upload the rest of everything. So hopefully you guys will get a chance to check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and answer a few questions and see if I can give my opinions on some of the things that Microsoft is doing. Chaotic Panther says, do you think Microsoft should buy Steam? Steam has their own brand, man. I don't know if Microsoft should buy Steam. I know Microsoft has way more money than Steam, but I don't think Steam needs to be bought. Steam does extremely well on its own. They don't need Microsoft. Steam is the #1 PC gaming, I guess you could say, distributor in the world. They have an amazing install base, and they make plenty of money, so they don't need Microsoft at all. If anything, Microsoft needs them, and that's the sad part about it. Zach Karim, what's up, brother? Thank you for stopping in. Zach Karim says, no, don't buy Steam. More money, yes, but way more problems than they need. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Microsoft needs to buy Steam. I don't think Steam will allow themselves to be bought. But that's an uphill battle, man, trying to get the PC gamer. It just really is. You don't have third-party games on your console. You don't have third-party games in your store. Where it's like if Madden came out for Xbox and Steam PC and PlayStation 4, it's not coming out on Windows 10. You're not getting that. So it's harder to compete when you're only just producing exclusives. And I said this before, if Microsoft really wants to push Windows 10, the amount of exclusives they have to push out has to be on a level of like EA or Origin, where like you're pumping out so many exclusive games that people can only go to Windows 10 to get those games. But if you pump out one game for like half a year, and that's not half a year because you do have smaller indie titles, you do have mobile games in that store that are exclusive to that store. But unless you're pumping out big AAA titles that you can only get in the Windows 10 store consistently on a regular basis, it just makes it harder to appeal to the PC gamer when they have Steam and they get all the same indie games and they getting all these PC games at the same time. It's a tough battle for Microsoft. And if Xbox gamers aren't buying games like they used to, and the games aren't hitting the mark, and if the games are flopping, Microsoft has no choice but then turn around and reach out to that PC market that they have a hand in. And it's not a bad thing for the Xbox division, and it's not a bad thing for the Xbox gamer. But if you are a Xbox fanboy, or if you're a loyalist, or if you're a guy that is all about Microsoft and all about Xbox, it could be a bad thing, and it can make you feel some type of way. Wise Fool 24/7 says Microsoft lost. They are way harder to. It's way hard to take them serious and stick out with them. What I can say about Microsoft is that Microsoft, they have a competitive fire. I know that personally. I think they have a desire to be #1, and they constantly are trying to do that. At the same time, I think Microsoft isn't Sony. Sony depends so much on PlayStation now that they have no choice but to make sure that everything they do stays within PlayStation, because they can't afford to lose a dime. They just can't. And that's not a detriment to PlayStation. That's a detriment to Sony as a company, because they've had so many financial issues, but they're doing better. They shedded a lot of the weight. They shedded a lot of things that they didn't need, and they're doing better. Microsoft has so many other things that they're involved in, whether it's Azure, whether it's Office, whether it's Windows 10, Windows 7, whether it's all these other things that they're involved in. And trust me, there's a lot of things that they're involved in. They don't really need the Xbox division per se, but it does allow them to get into the homes of people other than being on PC. Having a console allows Microsoft to push their ads, push their games, push their shows, push anything that they want to push through the console to grown men, adults, children, and they get Windows in the home. That's important for them. And I think that is smart, but I don't think they look at the gamers the way the gamers look at Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And that's kind of like the feeling I've been getting when talking to some people here and there, where yeah, it's about the game and it's about selling to the games, but you got to remember your base, and your base is the Xbox, the hardcore Xbox guy. Those are the guys that go out on day one and buy the console. Those are the guys that go out on day one and support Microsoft, whether they messed up or not. And I don't know if those guys still feel the same after, all the ups and downs that has happened this generation. I do, but I know a lot of people that have it, and I hear it all the time. Punjabi asks, get the Street Fighter 10, Street Fighter vs. Tekken is only $2 right now on Capcom selling Xbox 360. It's a great game, I guess, to add to the collection. I haven't played it, but I thought it was free. Wasn't it free on Xbox? I guess it was just a PC game. I think I already have it. I haven't played it, but I'll definitely give it a try. Chaotic Panda says, I just think they should try to buy Steam for Half-Life and mix Win10 store and Steam store as one. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I just don't see it happening. I don't know if that'd be a good mix. Valve does their own thing. They do their own thing well. I don't know if Microsoft really needs to do that. That's just like Karim said, that's just more problems, man. It just is. You think about all things that's like, you got to think about that database that you got to bring in, all the people attached to that database. There's just like a lot of things with Steam that if Microsoft bought them, it would be a headache for a while for them to deal with that. All the licenses that's a part of Steam and the games and the deals that you got to work out with the indie developers. Bro, that is a mess. That is a mess. It really is. When you really think about it, that's a mess. Big Bang, what's up, brother? Thank you for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Von Shell, what's going on? Von Shell says, I just want an 1S. I don't care about the business side on either side. I just want a 1S. Hey, man, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with getting the Xbox 1S. I know a lot of people don't care about that, about the business side of things. They just get a chance to play games and stuff like that. All I was just pointing out as a podcaster and as a person who brings news was just giving my opinion on Windows 10 and how the PC gamer kind of has beaten Microsoft at their own game. Kiss Smooth, what up, Cal? What up, brother, man? Hey, great show last night with the Writer's Block, you guys. Definitely check out the Writer's Block on Kiss Smooth channel. The Writer's Block is a part of the Inner Circle Network. If you guys do not know, please go check out that show and support the Writer's Block team. Punjabi says, when will you get Phil on the show and do some fan chat with Phil? That's a secret. No, out. That's a secret. I can't give that away. I can tell you that I spoke with Phil already, and we've discussed some things. And I'm working with Microsoft for some things. Currently, right now, we have a guest coming on next week, and I'll be releasing that episode on Friday. I think either Friday or Thursday, I'll be releasing that episode. It won't be live. I don't do live when it comes to my interviews. When I do my interviews with the Microsoft executives or anybody for that matter, I like to keep it private because I get to ask them personal questions that they normally wouldn't say. And I get to learn more about the person and they get to learn more about us. And that's how we build kind of our bond. It's hard to do that, when you're live, because then you can't say certain things. You can't do certain things. You kind of have to be robotic in a way with your answers or be careful with your questions. I like guys to just be free. If guys don't want me to add something to the show and they request me to edit it out, I'll edit it out. That's something that me and my team knows. That's great for us. That's inside information. You know what I'm saying? And that's awesome. And maybe eventually it'll come out. Maybe eventually I'll be able to talk about it. But for the most part, I prefer to do my interviews private. I really do. And I think it makes people feel way more comfortable than doing it live. I know live brings in more people. Don't get me wrong. It definitely brings in more people. But at the same time, I like to give my interviewers the security of knowing that they don't have to worry about, being so wound up. They could just be loose, be free, say what they want. I think that's great. And it's great for the MP3 crowd who really like our interviews when we release them on iTunes and Android and Windows. Von Shell asks, oh, yeah, I feel you. Wasn't a shot towards you at all. Keep doing great work. No, I'm not taking it as a shot, brother. I understand what you're saying. You want an Xbox One S and stuff like that. I get it. I'm just saying that, the news about Quantum Break going to Steam today after all the talk about how Quantum Break was a console exclusive and how you could only get it at the Windows Store. Like, I don't think people understand everything that led up to that. There was so much drama behind Quantum Break, and it was like so much arguments. I watched it all over Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And you seen the media talk about it. People were questioning when it come to PC. People were questioning whether it was ever going to be third party and things like that. And the one thing was like, nah, it would never go. It will never. It would be Xbox only. Then it jumped from Xbox only to Xbox and Windows 10. Now it's jumped from Xbox and Windows 10 to Steam and PC. You have to wonder to yourself, what's next? What do you want to believe, and what is the truth? You understand what I'm saying? So that's really what it comes down to, man, and stuff like that. Some people are going to hate this show. Some people are not going to like it, and that's fine. I don't care. Everybody doesn't have to agree with me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a podcaster. I give you my opinion. I give you my thoughts. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. But I appreciate the support and the people that return week in and week out, and I'm grateful. All-Star Gamer 1000. What's up, brother? Thank you for stopping in. Isn't the Xbox One S supposed to be faster than the OG Xbox One? My OG Xbox One is faster than my Xbox One S. Oh man, you think they got you on that one too? No, well, according to Microsoft, the processors, it has and it's been upclocked. It's been upclocked, so it performs. I don't know about faster, but it performs better than the Xbox One on certain games, not all games. Some games you won't see a difference, but there's a good portion of games where you see a difference between you see a difference between a game playing on Xbox One and a game playing on Xbox One S. A few of the games that they showed off or that I recently seen, a person who had a really great video is NX Gamer. Shout out to NX Gamer. Check out his channel and look at his comparison of Xbox One and Xbox One S, and then PS4 and Xbox One S. And you do see a difference in a lot of games. Hitman was with Digital Foundry. He showed off Doom. He showed off, oh my God, what were some of the games he showed off? I think he showed off, did he show off Gears? I don't remember. There was a few games that he showed off. I can't remember the games, but I do remember the point. And the point was that it performed better, but not enough to make you want to go out and buy Xbox One S if you have an Xbox One and not a 4K TV. And that's really the major differences. If you have a 4K TV and you have HDR, the Xbox One S is for you. Trust me. If you ever seen HDR play live, it's incredible. It damn near looks better than 4K. And I've seen it play live. But for the most part, if you haven't seen it play live, then and you only have a 1080p TV, not a 4K TV, your Xbox One is just as good as the Xbox One S. Only in certain games you'll get a bump, whether it's 3 frames, 4 frames, 6 frames. Some games stay locked at 30, whereas on the Xbox One it may be 28, 29, and stuff like that. But usually it's less screen tearing on the Xbox One S as well. There is a lot less screen tearing. I can give you that much. So it does perform better, but not significantly enough where do you need to go out and spend another $400 and stuff like that. That's up to the person who wants the console. That's really what it comes down to. If you want it, then you should get it. Me personally, I'm on the fence. I'm still on the fence about getting the 1 terabyte one for $350 when it comes up and when it comes out. I'm really, really thinking hard about it, but really, I just want the Scorpio, and that's what I'm stacking my paper for, to get the Scorpio. Punjabi, great respect on that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Is NX really a handheld console, or are they just a rumor? My understanding is that the NX is a hybrid. It is a handheld and a console. You can attach the controllers to the handheld and take it anywhere you want. And when you get home, you can remove the controller and attach it to your television and play it like a console. My understanding power-wise is that it's as powerful as a tablet, the most powerful tablet on the market, but nowhere near in the realm of the Xbox One and the PS4. I don't know how that's going to play out. I know I do like the way Zelda and the Wild looks. It looks great, and I'm interested in the game. As a Nintendo fan, I'm not a fan of how they build their systems. I'm just not. I just always feel like Nintendo innovates for no reason. That's what I feel. That's my motto with Nintendo. Nintendo innovates for no reason because they don't have to. Everybody is happy with a controller and a console. Everybody is happy. You know what I'm saying? And for some apparent reason, Nintendo has to go the extra mile to always make their consoles some extraordinary way to play, man. Just give us a console, a controller, and some dope games, some mature games, and some new IPs, and everybody would be happy. I think that's the truth. Funny stuff. Christian O says, I think it's a rumor, not sure. Well, according to most news, Christian, it's supposed to be true. It's not confirmed by Nintendo. At least I didn't get that confirmation yet, but my understanding is that there's a lot of people who are at Nintendo who have, I guess, spread the word to somebody else, and that person's been spreading the word. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's 100% true. I don't know, but my understanding is that's what it's supposed to be. Answer a few more questions before I head out. Punjabi asks, if NX really is a console, I buy that day one. Yeah, I'm on the fence about it. Hulk Smash, what up, brother? What's good, Hulk, man? Thank you for stopping in, brother. I really appreciate it. Hulk Smash says, did I see the hip-hop gamer video saying Xbox has lost its X Factor? Man, he was tripping. Bro, I hit him up and told him to stop immediately. And I don't think, Xbox lost its X Factor. I just think that Microsoft is focusing too much on what they're trying to do with Windows 10 and PC. That's just, I said that from the jump. I said that months ago. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they own Windows 10, and that's an outlet for them to sell games. But they botched it. And that's just my opinion. I think they botched it. But Xbox, I don't think Xbox as a console has lost its factor. Not at all. Scorpio's about to come out. Xbox One S is selling out of this world. And I just hope that whatever they make off the games that they sell, whether it's Xbox and PC, they continue to produce new IPs for the Xbox fans. I just want the Xbox fans to buy the freaking games. I'm sick and tired of seeing people talking about, I'm going to get this game, I'm going to buy that game, then they don't get the game. A few reviews come out, they don't get the game. They don't buy the game. They don't support the game. Then the game winds up being pushed out to make its sales back. It's like, you got 20 million people on a console. What are you playing? I have I can pull up my library right now. I have every single exclusive that has come out on the Xbox One. Every single one. I have a ton of games. So nobody can ever tell me that I don't support. So that's one thing. And it's very frustrating to want to play games like Quantum Break and want to play games like Scalebound and want to play games like Recore and then think that people may not buy this game and I may never see a sequel. That's disappointing when I want the console to be as diverse as possible. So my frustration in that is that it's frustrating to have all these great games on Xbox One and then possibly the new IPs don't sell and everybody keeps buying Halo and everybody keeps buying Gears. And I get those games are amazing games. I love them just as everyone else. But I also want to see Microsoft continue to diverse its library. And I just feel like every time they try to do that, they can't because they're afraid that the Xbox gamer won't buy these unique titles. And if they don't buy those unique titles, they're just going to keep going right back to that dude bro stuff. And it's a turnoff sometimes. It can be a turnoff. It's super important that the Xbox gamers go out and buy these games. They're doing everything that they can to try to appeal and make their console as diverse as possible. They really, really are. And it's just insane that people are just passing up on games like Quantum Break or Sunset Overdrive. I don't get it. You put those games on PlayStation and they sell because that's what they're used to. And I feel like Microsoft has to keep pushing. They have to keep pushing through that wall to break through to get that PlayStation gamer, to get that Nintendo gamer on their console so they can see that, look, we have Sunset, we got Quantum Break, we have Recore, we have Scalebound. These unique titles you can't get on any other console. And these diverse games that you won't play anywhere else, Ori and the Blind Forest, at least in the console space. But gamers have to buy them. Microsoft as a company is still a business, and as a business can only produce on things that make profit. And if they don't make profit, If they aren't bringing in the revenue to recoup and then even have the extra revenue to then build another sequel or another title or have a good reception, it makes it very difficult for them to then turn around and want to make a new IP. That's why we kept getting freaking Halos and Forzas and Gears last generation, because those things made money. I love Fable. I thought Fable was good, but as the entries went on, I felt like they were just pumping them out because they sold decently, but it didn't never sell amazing. Look at Crackdown. Crackdown 2 flopped, and we never got another one. Never did until now. So Xbox gamers need to go out and buy Xbox games. Don't talk about it, be about it. I don't want to see you on Twitter talking about what you want to get. I don't want to see you on Twitter about Microsoft don't have the diversity or they don't have this, they don't have that, when all the games are there and you dudes aren't buying them. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. So, that's my frustration as an Xbox gamer, knowing that the diversity is there and diversity is growing, but it can be halted because people want to play the same crap over and over again. So that's why I think Microsoft has to continue to push, and keep putting these games out on the system, even if they don't sell, because they need to be there. Regardless if they sell or not, they need to be there. Because then no one can ever say Microsoft is not diverse enough. No one can ever say that. Even if the games don't sell, they need to be there. That's why I kept stressing Microsoft needs more JRPGs. I don't care if they don't sell. You have to put them on a console because you have to show that you're not missing an entire genre. You cannot alienate an entire genre of people who love to play those games. But it's partially also Japan. So you can't put the full blame on Microsoft. It's partially also Japan. I'm like going on a rant now, but it's partially Japan because Microsoft doesn't sell well in Japan. But you have 20 million or more, 25 million or more consoles in the Western markets. And that's money in itself. I don't know why they're not working with them or why the Japanese don't want to work with Microsoft, but I hope that all of that changes with the Scorpio. I think that's Microsoft's chance to really show that they have a console in the market that no matter what you put on it, you're going to get 4K native gaming or 1080p 60 at ultra settings, and there will be no excuses about a console can't run this, or the console can't run this, or they can't reach this. And if manufacturers, if people not buying the console, that's on them. They're not buying the console. But Microsoft needs to figure out a way to make sure they have every genre on their console. And I'm glad that scale balance comes to the console because that's the game that they need. And that's why I like the idea of the game, and I'm excited for it. And it's one of my most anticipated. But Xbox gamers need to support. Oh, man. Yeah, why y'all making me rant, man? I don't want to rant. I don't want to rant, man. I don't. I really don't, man. I just wanted to have a chill podcast, and y'all making me rant. I only got a few more minutes. I don't want to make this an hour show. I don't want to keep going. So I'm going to try to hurry up and get through some of these questions before I break out of here, man. I really appreciate all the support. Everybody stopping in. Funny stuff. Let's see. All-Star Gamer, as I see it, Quantum Break is still an Xbox and PC exclusive. But it wasn't supposed to be a PC exclusive. It's supposed to be a Windows 10 exclusive. That's the point. That's why I hate when people say, like when Gears 4 comes out or Halo 6 comes out and they say Xbox PC, it's not supposed to be PC. It's supposed to be Xbox and Windows 10 in the Microsoft ecosystem as an exclusive. But you lose that exclusivity and the right to call it exclusive, and it becomes like a third-party game once you put it on retail for Steam and PC. Just saying, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a point about being a fanboy or using it as ammo against other fanboys. I'm just saying you made a pitch, the pitch to the Xbox gamers and the Xbox community. And the pitch now seems different. And if things don't go the way it's supposed to go, then you'll do what you have to do and break the idea of Xbox or Windows 10 and push it out so you can sell it no matter what. That doesn't bode well for Xbox gamers who take Microsoft at their word. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know if Xbox fans are still loyal. I know some people have questioned their loyalty. I know a lot of people have sold their Xboxes. And I know a lot of people bought the Xbox One S. So I don't know. People maybe held off and waited for the Xbox One S. I don't know. But hopefully at the end of the month, we'll see Microsoft sell a ton of Xbox One S's. They sold out. I heard the 2 terabytes sold out, and they're not even making anymore, which is crazy to me that you're not making any more of this particular console. But hopefully, at the end of the month, when we get the NPD and we get the chance to see how many consoles it sold, I really hope that it was through the freaking roof. I really do, because Microsoft worked hard on the S, and those people who worked on it deserve the credit and the respect that they did with the Xbox One S console. Christian, how much do you think the Xbox Scorpio will cost if it's going to be as big of a beast as it is rumored? Isn't it going to be a really expensive console? I do. Me, B Money 101, Anchorman V went to E3. Anchorman V sat next to some AMD dudes and heard them talking about Xbox One. And I believe it's going to be $600. Everybody says $500. I just don't see it. Microsoft is not going to produce a console that people think they're going to produce. They're trying to go above that. I don't know how many times I have to stress this. People think that Microsoft is going to drop the Scorpio, and the Scorpio is going to be this thing that people have been talking about for months. When people talk about the throughput and they keep talking about 320, they always said it at 320. Microsoft never said it was 320. Microsoft said it was over 320. They're trying to go above whatever it is they requested. When they spoke to all the developers about what they want in a console, a 4K gaming console, a game that plays VR uncompromised. That's a key word, uncompromised. They don't want to sacrifice 60 frames per second because the game runs better at 30. They don't want to, sacrifice 4K because they want the game to run at 1080. They want this console and they want the games to run at 4K 60 uncompromised. Now, I'm no engineer. Most people tell me 6 teraflops is not enough. Maybe Microsoft is not going to release a console at 6 teraflops. Maybe that's what they're saying now. And those things could change. But I do know that they want to get it at 4K 60. And if they can get it at 4K 60, however they got to do it, whether it's an extra teraflop or two, whether it's a better GPU, whether it's a better CPU, no matter what they got to do, they're trying to do it. That's why I don't think this console is going to sell for 5. I think 6 will be the mark. It will be a premium device for people to purchase, just like the Elite controller. Now, regular controller costs $60, and Elite controller costs $150. If you get the Gears Edition, it's $200 for a coat of paint. A controller is $200, and people will buy it, and they believe that, and that's why the premium console will probably retail for $6. If it's supposed to be a monster. A monster is what they said. So if that's what it's supposed to be, I think it'll retail for $6. All-Star Gamer says Nintendo should have just made a new handheld that connects to a TV. That's exactly what they did. That's what the NX is supposed to be. Dynamatrix says, do you think we'll see another Microsoft exclusive hit Steam? And if so, which one? I honestly don't care, but this move is interesting. If they do, it would have to be probably a game like ReCore. I don't know if ReCore is going to appeal to everybody. I played it at E3, loved it. I'm an old school gamer. I played the old school Mega Mans and Metroid. Some of the new guys might not like it. The way you play the game, it's story driven. It's nothing really to the point where it's super innovative, but it's very fun. It's very old school. It's kind of like, I keep saying this, it's kind of like Metroid or Mega Man in a way where, I won't even say Mega Man, it's more like Metroid, where you go from room to room and you eliminate that room and then you move out of that room to the next area and you continue to do battle. And at the same time, you have a gun that does different things like it's color coordinated. You have to hit the I'm sorry, 1 second. It's color coordinated. You have to hit different colors to fight enemies that have those same colors. So if you have a red enemy, you need to switch to red ammo. Yellow ammo. Blue ammo. You have a charge shot that stuns enemies and you can shoot them. And then eventually you have a grappling hook, which you can actually latch on and rip the orb out of the enemies or use it to grapple on and traverse the area. And it's very Metroid-like the way you traverse things using your different robots and you can swap out the orbs, but it's very old school. It may not appeal to everybody. I don't know if that game's going to sell. I really don't. I'm definitely buying it day one. I don't know if it's going to appeal to everybody. And I really hope it does because it's a great game written by Joseph Staten and his writing team. Is going to have a really good story. I know that. doesn't take place on Earth. It's a different area. The map is dynamic. It's Metroidvania style when it comes to the mapping, but you get these sandstorms that kind of like you have to survive the sandstorm when you're out in the open. And if you don't, obviously you can probably die. But when you come out of the sandstorm, supposedly it changes the map. So maybe one direction you was going is no longer that way, and you have to find an alternative route. So it's really important that the game really appeals to everybody. But if not, I can see a game like that going right to Steam because the game didn't do well on Xbox and Windows 10. And I can tell you right now, PC gamers won't be buying that game on Windows 10. they just won't. Not after Quantum Break is hitting Windows 10 and PC. Oh, man. Chaotic Panic asks, what do you think of the media yet to show Xbox One S HDR in movies or the media in general? I think it was a PS4 thing. It would be all over HDR. It would be all over HDR. Looks far more shocking than 1080 to the 4K. HDR looks amazing. It does. But you got to have a TV for it. And that's the thing. It's hard to show something off that looks impressive, but you don't have the equipment. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have the equipment. Everybody doesn't have a 4K HDR TV, but it does look impressive. Upscale HDR, in my opinion, looks better than regular 4K native. That's just the truth. And, you know, I watched it at E3. I watched it when they played Gears. I've seen it on PC in 4K, and I've seen it on the Xbox One Slim upscaled and in HDR, and HDR just looked better. That's just the truth, man. I'm telling you, it looks really good. I want to thank all people out there watching, man. 34 people. Please give the show a like. We'll really be grateful for that. And make sure you subscribe to the Inner Circle network. Very, very grateful for all that and all the support. Okay. I don't know if Punjabi asks, will Record be an HDR game? I don't know if it'll be an HDR game. I hope that it is. Like I said, I hope that it is. It would look amazing with the color scheme that it has. It would really pop. It would be one of the best looking, not graphically, but the most colorful game that you've seen in a while on the Xbox if it was. I did see Gears 4. I shouted out Rod Ferguson, and I was completely impressed with it. Blown away how it looks graphically. It looks amazing. In my opinion, it might be the best looking game this year. And that's not even from a Xbox fan or fanboy perspective. Just watching that IGN first Gears gameplay, the game looks incredible. It really does. And it's witty and it's funny. I know a lot of people didn't like the robot aspect of it. But listen, there's still the swarm. There's still screamers. There are multiple enemies in the game. And I can't wait to find out what the story is. So it's really interesting. I can't wait to see what it is. But I like the dynamic of having robots. It's different. It's not the same enemies over and over and over. You have a different vibe of enemy now with this third party. It's almost Halo-like, where it's like you got the Covenant, and then all of a sudden you have the Prometheans or whatever. So that's just kind of weird in itself. But yeah, you now have these robots that are hunting down, I guess, Marcus Phoenix and his family or whatever. And then at the same time, you got to deal with the Swarm, which is a new enemy in itself. And I actually got to see how the Swarm come about and how they're created. I don't want to give that away because that is a big spoiler. But when you guys get a chance to play Gears when it releases, you will be surprised at how those things come about. And that's pretty dope. 2-Bit Jesus asks, what do you think of how well the Xbox One S has done sales-wise? A lot of media YouTubers were pretty pessimistic on it. I said this, I don't know how many times with Super Podshots. I told people this before. No one believed me. I said if Microsoft would have came out with their Xbox in a way where it wasn't a big cable box VCR looking console, it would have sold better. People don't understand that the look of a console and the ergonomics of a console really are important in the East. The Japanese in those Eastern European markets like small and sleek. Xbox has continued to produce consoles that are very American-like, very big, very powerful looking. That's just the American way. But that doesn't appeal to everybody. You pump out the Xbox One S, which is smaller. It doesn't look as sleek cut-wise, but it's sleek in comparison to what the Xbox One looks like. And that thing sold out in the UK, and I don't know, they didn't even have it anymore. Amazon was completely out. Amazon UK was just sold out. This thing has sold so extremely well, and it performs slightly better than the Xbox One. The controller is slightly better, and you're getting it at a reduced price. And that's not to say that the Slim itself is what's really selling it. 4K and the Blu-ray player is selling it. But the fact that you have all those components to it all in one, people say to this day, that's what Microsoft should have dropped. That's what Microsoft should have dropped day one. And I'm just happy that they learned from their mistakes. They produced an amazing console with the Xbox One S, and I think they're going to produce an astronomically amazing console with the Scorpio. It's going to be out of this world, so I'm excited about that. Kareem Lewis, what's up, brother? Thank you for stopping in. He says that multiplayer is 1080p 60 looks smooth as butter, and the graphics are stellar. I don't know what they did, bro. They are magicians. we can't even get Battlefield at 1080p. So it's an amazing thing. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back to finish up. All right, guys, apologies. Thank you for sticking around. So let me finish up, man. Oh, man. Let's see here. Okay, so last question here. Dynamatrix asks, speaking of HDR, will the Neo support it? It'll be interesting if it didn't, comparing it to the Xbox Slim that does support it. I would assume they are. I would assume that is something that they're probably adding on something that they initially probably didn't add, and they're going to. There's been rumors that they're going to increase the power of the Neo. I guess because of Scorpio. The Scorpio announcement kind of made Sony take a step back. I really don't think Sony can do much with improving the power, at least part-wise, with the Neo. I think the Neo is kind of set in stone. What they could probably do is maybe add RAM, maybe do an up clock. But as far as changing out the specs completely, I don't see that happening. HDR, I don't know how that works. If there's a chip that has to be added, I don't know. But I would assume that that is something that they were looking at, and if they were going to add HDR, then they probably wouldn't release this year. But they're supposed to have a conference in September, so I would definitely be checking out that conference to see what they release and what they're talking about. Yeah, man. So, I mean, that's it. That's it for the show. I really appreciate everybody stopping out. If you didn't like the show, there's not much I can say, man. You just didn't like it. I hope that you are, I hope you don't take anything I've said to heart or personally. Again, this is a podcast, man. I'm here to inform, and I'm here to give my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. There's nothing I can do about that. But if you do like it, if you do understand where I'm coming from, thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the respect. Go ahead, leave any comments in the comment section. I'm one of the few podcasters that answers all of my commentators on Tick Podcast and Super Podshots. So if you have anything you want to respond, anything you want to leave, go ahead, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll do my best to respond to that and give my opinion on those as well. And again, I'll be back next week, Wednesday, usually at 7 p.m. to give my impressions on what the buzz is in the industry on Super Podshots. We have Tick Podcast every other Friday, not this week. We had one last week. We got one coming next week. Tune in this Sunday for my guest announcement that'll be releasing on Friday. Really cool guy, Microsoft person. I don't want to give it away just yet, but look forward to that. And we have some things lined up over the next couple of months, so I'm excited about that. Want to thank everybody for coming out. Make sure you catch Multiverse on Mondays, the Writer's Block with Kid Smooth, Fame Entertainment, Nicodemus and crew on Tuesdays, and of course me, your boy KLYSKLL, the last on the planet Xbox, every Wednesday at 7 on the Inner Circle Network. And please support TICGN.com. Go there right now. Check out our reviews, the latest reviews. Check out our entertainment section. You won't find quality work from a bunch of gamers anywhere else. So definitely check out TICGN. Go ahead, sign up, support. Really thank you guys for everybody stopping out. You guys have a great night. I'm your host, KLYSKLL, the last on the planet Xbox, and I'm off this planet. Peace.